House of the Dragon is effectively HBO's first Game of Thrones project since the conclusion of its main series, which means that the future of the Game of Thrones as a multimedia franchise may well hinge on the success of its split. One of the greatest strengths of Game of Thrones is arguably its cast. So ideally, the new cast of actors at the heart of the prequel story told by House of the Dragon will resonate similarly with viewers, including star Emma D'Arcy, then play Princess Rhaenyra Targaryen, whom D'Arcy describes as decidedly complex character. In the first episode of HBO's House of the Dragon, fans meet two 14-year-old girls, Rhaenyra Targaryen and Alicent Hightower. The two teenagers are clearly close, spending their free time together, studying or riding in horse-drawn carriages or even helping each other dress for a ceremony. At times, their relationship resembles something closer to young girlfriends rather than just best friends, a dynamic that Millie Alcock and Emily Carey and the two stars who play younger versions of Rhaenyra and Alicent respectively say was intentionally there for subtext. During an interview with the New York Times, actors Emma D'Arcy and Olivia Cooke responded to the speculation about their on-screen relationship. In today's video, we're going to tell you all about the relationship between House of Dragon actors Rhaenyra and Alicent. But before we do that, and if you're new to this channel, please hit that subscribe button for more entertaining videos and press the bell icon to get the latest video updates every time we drop a new video. Based on George R.R. Martin's Fire and Blood, House of the Dragon, which is set 200 years before the events of Game of Thrones, tells the story of House Targaryen. House of the Dragon premiered on August 21st. The 8th and final season of Game of Thrones left a bad taste in nearly everyone's mouth, owing to a series of odd and rushed creative decisions. At the same time, Thrones' massive success over the years, it was arguably the biggest TV show of the 2010s, and it's the reason House of Dragon even exists. It would never get the chance, and there wouldn't be more spin-offs in the works if its big brother didn't pave the way for epic fantasy series on television. From co-showrunners Ryan Condal and Miguel Sapochnik, who are also executive producers along with author George R.R. Martin, the HBO series House of the Dragon explores the Targaryen family with all the power, danger, rivalry, jealousy, betrayal, murder, and love that could either make them invincible or tear them apart. When you throw in powerful dragons, it becomes impossible to know who to trust or where loyalties lie, and the Iron Throne that they're all fighting for is not kind in its embrace of whoever sits upon it. Collider got the opportunity to sit down with co-stars Emma D'Arcy and Olivia Cooke, talked about following on the humanity of the characters, coming from a complete prism of truth, even if it isn't the most moral truth, the stamina required by a job like this, developing a bond with the dragon, the evolution of the dynamic between Rhaenyra and Alicent, and where Rhaenyra's power comes from. House of the Dragon fans were pretty much already obsessed with leading cast members Emma D'Arcy and Olivia Cooke, who play Rhaenyra Targaryen and Alicent Hightower in HBO's new series. However, now after a video of the two discussing their favorite cocktail has gone viral over the weekend, it's safe to say the obsession has reached a whole new level of appreciation. Olivia asks Emma as part of a TikTok for HBO Max, "What's your drink of choice?" Emma then responds saying, "A Negroni, Sbagliato with Prosecco in it." And Olivia replies, Oh, stunning. The video now has been viewed nearly 10 million times, with the comment section full of people raving about the clip. In particular, people are obsessed with Emma's voice and the way she said Prosecco. After going from best friends to foes as teenagers, Alicent and Rhaenyra finally make amends in episode 8 of House of the Dragon. In an effort to put her aside her grievances for Viserys' sake, Rhaenyra toasts Alicent wholeheartedly, to whom she apologizes, and thank you for following your father's side. Alicent returns the compliment, saying that she and Rhaenyra are mothers who have more in common than they admit. And then the toast ends with Alicent surprisingly saying that Rhaenyra will make a good queen. The problem, however, is how long will this truce last? Aemon's strong boy speech sparked a physical fight between his sons moments after the queen and princess pardoned each other, and the king died later that night. Despite this sincere apology, the rivalry between Rhaenyra and Alicent will resume after episode 8 of House of the Dragon. With the king dead, the question of succession is no longer a waiting game, and steps will have to be taken to ensure that the Greens or the Blacks region of the Iron Throne. Alicent may have been briefly inclined to let Rhaenyra ascend the Iron Throne, but her misunderstanding of the dying King Viserys' last words set her back on the path of stealing the crown. Rhaenyra Targaryen and Alicent Hightower have shown some intimacy in their relationship since the start of the series, especially in their youth, but it seems Alice is too repressed to lead anywhere. "I don't know if Alicent knows what it feels like to feel those things now," said Cooke, who plays the older Alicent. There's layers and layers of repression. Sexuality and lust are probably a prehistoric, sedimentary layer by now. From Alicent's point of view, I don't think that she's self-aware in terms of what she's feeling to know what's propelling her to reach out to Rhaenyra again. Of course, the two young women are also played by younger actresses, Millie Alcock and Emily Carey. Although older versions of Rhaenyra and Alicent are doomed to never get their wishes, it seems the young actresses told Variety that they discussed it. I mean, we kind of start that discourse, said Carey, who plays the young Alicent. We were in the rehearsal room. I believe it's episode 4. It's not necessarily something that we talked about yet. We were doing a scene and Millie and I looked at each other like, kind of felt like we were about to kiss. That was really weird. And so we talked about it. During an interview with the New York Times, actors Emma D'Arcy and Olivia Cooke responded to the speculation about their on-screen relationship. I'm just actually in love with Emily, and so I think that's it, Alcock joked during a roundtable press interview with Insider, Pop Sugar, and Metacritic. It's something we brought up with Claire Kilner, one of the directors we also work with for the younger version of the characters. Carey added, "It was something I immediately was conscious of when I read the script as a queer woman myself." Carey said that her initial reaction to the script read-through was that Rhaenyra and Alicent are in love a little bit, and so the actors played around with the idea of the young girls having a special emotional closeness to their best friends. I think any woman could think back to the best friend that they had at 14 years old, and it's a relationship and a closeness unlike any other, Carey said. You do toe the line between platonic and romantic. Millie always says it's like a tactile closeness and emotional closeness, Carey said, especially when it's put in the context of this world where there are only 2 young girls in the Red Keep. It's 100% something we were conscious of, and so it reads on screen and it was purposeful. Alcock also sees the relationship between Rhaenyra and Alicent as indicative of the larger theme in The House of the Dragon, about the power dynamics between men and women and their respective roles in society. As Rhaenyra's mother tells her in the first episode, a princess has a royal womb and is therefore expected to show her strength through childbirth, not on a soldier's battlefield. These women aren't given the privilege to know what choices they have because of the world that they live in, Alcock said. That's the theme that runs through this entire story, and Alicent and Rhaenyra's relationship is a prime example of it. We've seen bisexual and pansexual characters in Westeros and Game of Thrones, notably Yara Greyjoy and Oberyn Martell, but no openly welcome queer relationships within HBO's adaptation of George R.R. Martin's fictional universe. During the same press conference, Insider also asked Emma D'Arcy and Olivia Cooke, who played the adult version of Rhaenyra and Alicent respectively, about their character sexuality and how their dynamic works within Westeros. I think there's erotic energy in most intense teenage relationships because it's a period of trying to work out what one is and what one wants, D'Arcy said. Cooke, who plays an adult Alicent, said she agreed with Carey's assessment of her character and how Alice's relationship with Rhaenyra is a mix of platonic, romantic, and even sisterly. When you have your first intense friendship, you're throwing all these emotions at another person and seeing which one sticks, she said, and it's incredibly complex, but very passionate. That's all for today. Let us know your views in the comments below. Click that like button if you enjoyed the video and share it with your friends, and don't forget to subscribe.